and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to compare a Baroque bow with a modern bow. Here I have a Baroque bow which is much shorter than my bow, and my bow is actually very heavy. It's Nürnberger, so it's quite a heavy bow, and the Baroque bow is much lighter in general, and especially this one is much lighter than my bow because mine is particularly heavy. So you can always check out whether it's a heavy bow or not by putting it in a horizontal position. Then you'll notice all the weight is lasting in your pinky, and if it's really hard to hold like this, then you know it's a heavy bow. And when you take the Baroque bow and do the same thing, wow. This is nothing, baby. It's much lighter. It's also much easier to do the string crosses with the Baroque bow. It's much easier to play the chords and much easier to sound beautifully light and clear at the same time without having to work too hard. You can do all the same things with this bow as well, but then you have to work against the nature of this bow and you have to sweat a lot. And here you just relax. Of course you have to work as well, but not as much against the nature of the bow. Actually, not at all against the nature of the bow. You can work with the bow. So when you play Baroque music, I highly recommend using a Baroque bow. It's amazing. It's a beautiful experience. So the difference between the classical bow, the way we know it nowadays, and the Baroque bow is, first of all, they're made out of two different kinds of wood. The modern bow, the way we know it, if it's a good bow, it's made out of Pernambuco wood, and the Baroque bow is made out of snake wood or ironwood. Make sure when you get a Baroque bow that it really is made out of snake wood, otherwise there's no point getting one made out of Pernambuco wood. Then you might just as well get a modern bow. Here we have a screw. They didn't always have it in the old days, so they just had to put the frog in order to get the hair in this position, and later on they introduced the screw. Of course, the screw came much later. Here I have my violin, which I usually use in my videos and in real life. And here are the two bows. Which one would you like me to use first? Let's go with the classical bow first and see what it sounds like. What would you like me to play? I beg your pardon? Okay, let's play Bach. Wow. That's a huge difference. I would really only use the Baroque bow for playing Baroque music, simply because it makes it so much easier and so much more fun. That's amazing. If you're not sure what to do, I would not necessarily use the Baroque violin because it's a totally different experience playing on one, but the Baroque bow really does make sense. So the difference between Baroque violin and modern violin is simply we have a longer neck here, we have a longer fingerboard, and all the Stradivari, Guadagnini and Guarneri violins, which are actually Baroque violins, they don't have the original necks anymore. They actually took them away and put totally new necks there with a different tension. The neck is looking back here, and you can see there's a totally different construction from when you compare it with the Baroque violin, which has a much shorter neck. I would totally use my violin and a Baroque bow for playing Baroque music. So give it a try. Make sure to get one made out of snake wood, and definitely give it a try, especially if you love Baroque music as much as I do. Who doesn't love Bach, right? So Bach is basically the foundation on which the whole musical world rests. And I would even go so far as to say the whole world, almost, because Bach is kind of ingrained in our brains. It's just such a beautiful music. When you hear it, you immediately feel like, wow, this is perfection. I definitely love this Baroque bow very much. It's an amazing experience playing Baroque music with it. What about you? Do you have one as well? Let me know in the comment section down below.